Have you ever had a conversation about something only to see minutes later you see its ads popping up on your dashboard? Well, it's a common experience that is almost faced by everyone, and it leaves people wondering whether their phones are actually always listening to them. More than 60% of Americans use virtual assistants like Siri, Gemini, and Alexa on their devices. But voice tech and other virtual tools are not the only ones listening to you or accessing your phone's microphone. There is an abundance of apps that is always accessing your phone's microphone in order to activate fully functionality and personalization. And social media apps like Snapchat and GPS tools like Google Maps are always accessing your phone's microphone in order to activate fully functionalities of different scenarios. So your phone's listening is more useful than of a concern. But ultimately, it depends on which sites are accessing your phone's microphone and why, or whether or not they are sharing your data. If you're new here, my name is Joseph, and on this channel we dive deep into the worlds of tech, physics, and personal development, all tailored together to spark curiosity, innovation, and empower your journey into a more meaningful, purposeful, and productive life. And in this video, we are going to dive deep into this kind of conspiracy theory, whether your phone is actually always listening to you and whether your data is actually used maybe to hack you or to do anything of harm to you. So feel free to skip around the timestamps below and let's get into it. Virtual assistants like Siri, Gemini, and Alexa use sophisticated algorithms to process voice input, which is activated by voice commands. They convert speech to text and then analyze it into meaningful commands. Then they are ready to serve with an appropriate response to your request. They are always passively listening unless disabled, and they always come to life by their wake word like "Hey Siri" or "Hey Bixby." And this enables them to always be alert, ready to attend to your requests. Voice-activated technologies raise privacy concerns. They are always continuously listening for their wake words, which means they are continuously processing ambient audio, which raises concerns from people whether their conversations are not continuously recorded by these devices. While voice assistants are activated by wake words, they can actually also be activated by false activations. For example, my phone has continuously been activated by 3 instead of Siri. Every time I say 3, it activates thinking that I had said Siri. So these assistants sometimes can be falsely activated, and which actually raises privacy concerns. While your phone isn't continuously recording your conversations and sending them to advertisers, it is continuously collecting different data like your app usage, your browsing history, your location and contacts, and this data is used to create a personalized, detailed profile, which is then used to target you with personalized ads. So how does this work? When you install an application, it prompts you with a notification saying, would you like the application to access your microphone, your camera, or any other sensors? And if you click yes, you have accepted the consent that you want the application to access your phone in one way or the other. But while that is always the best way applications should do, some of the applications have actually gone further to abuse that consent form, and they actually don't bring that notification on your phone. So they go on in the background accessing your phone's microphone and any other functionalities without your consent, which actually raises privacy issues. On the other hand, there is a technology called ultrasonic tracking, where the app emits ultrasonic beacons that are used to track your location, your application usages, and browsing history. And these beacons emit ultrasonic sound, which is actually inaudible by human ear but very audible to your phone's microphone. Then that data is sent to the advertisers even when the app is not actively in use. And even advanced machine learning algorithms analyze your app usage and browsing history and every site you access, and by so doing they actually create a personalized, detailed profile of the things you like, thus deciding on which adverts should actually come on your dashboard. This is very much experienced when your browsing history is more like of cooking and you search for recipes and maybe cooking, kitchenware and whatsoever. So using these machine learning algorithms, they can detect that maybe you are a chef or maybe you're interested in cooking services. Therefore, they choose to provide you with ads like KFC and maybe any other ads that include kitchen something or kitchenware or any other things that deal with cooking. While the idea that whether your phone is continuously listening to you or not is still a conspiracy theory, the true reality is that companies are continuously collecting enormous amounts of data from your phone and are using it to create a targeted advertising. So that actually raises a privacy concern, and people ask themselves whether that data is only using for advertising or also use it for other harmful things. Now, this brings me to another point. Not all microphone listenings are equal. There are some that are potentially harmless than the other. If you're able to deactivate the microphone from your phone, that is potentially harmless. But some microphone listenings are more sneaky, and that can be potentially harmful. And this brings me to two categories of listenings. There is permissioned and permissionless listening. Understanding the distinction is very crucial. That's helping you to know whether your phone is actually listening to you for good or for any bad reasons. Now, permissioned listening is where an application or service prompts you with a notification of whether you should accept the service to access your microphone or camera or any other device on your phone. So if you accept that consent form, that is well and good. It will be able to maybe access your microphone or record recordings or do whatever thing that it is actually supposed to do. But on the other hand, permissionless listening is when a service or entity or application goes ahead to access your phone's microphone or camera without your consent. Now, that is potentially harmful and may actually be due to unethical reasons. Now, there are essentially three phone listenings that you should actually be aware of. One, there is advertising. Companies and applications or entities and services access your phone's microphone and cameras to collect data for them to actually make a targeted, personalized advertising on your dashboard, which may actually be okay, but they should actually do it under your consent. Two, there is product improvement. Now, companies and different services access your phone's microphone and camera in order to improve their services. Let's say you have anything to actually tell them, or maybe your conversations or maybe your data is in any way helping them to improve their services or products. That is very okay. But in case the companies actually do that or collect your information without your consent, that is actually potentially harmful. And whether or not they are doing it for their product improvement, the line between their product improvement, which is actually a good thing, and your privacy intervention, which is another thing, which is a bad thing, can actually blur. So companies shouldn't be accessing your phone's microphone or camera without your permission, even when they have a very good intention of improving their products or services or whatever thing they are providing to you. Now, the third is potentially harmful, that is hacking. Now, different people or entities or services access your phone's microphone without your consent for matters of surveillance or theft or identity fraud or anything, and that is potentially unethical, and that is the most worry of almost everyone, whether their phones are actually listening to them for good or ethical reasons or unethical reasons like hacking or identity fraud. Now, microphones privacy is one of the most cybersecurity's most essential yet underlooked topics. Now, initially, before the invasion of a smartphone, internet privacy was only limited on when you're in front of your desktop in your office. But now we go with smartphones almost everywhere, from meetings to our conversations with our lovers to family members. And this is so potentially harmful because since we have actually seen that companies are continuously gathering or collecting data from you, that means that they almost have a fully blueprint or script of you potentially. So concerns of whether your phone's actually listening to you because you've seen a certain ad doesn't necessarily mean that it is because of the microphone or listening to you. It actually comes from a lot of data that has been collected over a long time with different predictive algorithms like machine learning and any other things that actually are used in the background. Tech companies gather a lot of information from the user's online activities, browsing history, and app usages That is actually more than eavesdropping that most people always think that phones do. Phones actually do more of collecting data in other ways than actually eavesdropping. So the topic of whether phones are actually listening to you or not, they are, but in more different ways than the way you think. Now, for those worried whether there is a way of limiting the listening from your phone or any way they are collecting your data, is one, you maybe have to physically block your microphone. Two, maybe block your webcam or your camera or whatsoever. Three, if you really don't want companies or your phone to collect any data from you, in the present world, you just have to leave a smartphone, which is absolutely impractical. Yeah, but the matter of fact is companies are continuously collecting data in order to create a personalized and detailed advertising for their companies, for their products and services. Now, there is a pro tip for cyber safety here, and I'm sure most of us have actually accepted to consent forms like, do you agree with the terms and conditions? You just click yes, you check the checkbox without even reading the terms and conditions. But as a matter of takeaway from this video, don't watch this video for matters of finishing the video and you go on. Please start reading the terms and conditions for such services or products. Most especially, you may find those prompts were actually covered in the terms of agreement and maybe you actually didn't read them. You are so hurrying up to check the box and leave it. So the pro tip is take time to read the terms and conditions before clicking accept, and limit application permissions whenever possible to minimize technological surveillance. So this is the pro tip. You can take this out. If you don't take anything from this video, just take that pro tip. Please always read the terms of agreement for different application services and maybe entities. So key takeaways from this video: your phones are not continuously recording your conversations. Number two, personalized ads do not only come from your phone's microphone or anything, but it is a collection of different data ranging from browsing history to app usage, then to your location and any other thing that you actually do, an activity that you actually do online. Three, you can actually limit the access of your microphone and camera by going in settings and deactivate some apps from accessing your phone's microphone and camera. If you've watched up to this point of the video, I want to thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I hope you've gotten a good understanding of whether your phone's actually listening to you or not and what to do for it. And I've also shared some pro tips, some tips on how you should actually do about that. So if you have liked this video, I made a video about what is a black hole and what happens if you fall into a black hole. It's linked right here. Please consider checking it out. And if you don't know about Graham's number, I'm sure you also like to know about it. The video is going to be linked right here. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.